soon. She's just not.
I broke up with Edward several weeks ago for very valid.
Bro, why does this happen to the one most wholesome creator on this platform? You can't, there's nothing wrong with this, bro. What? Bro, they be making them 3 a.m. videos and putting in adult jokes in there for the audience to show that it was irony and satire. Hey, why we have to ruin that, bro? It's not even us that's ruining it, bro. That's just inconvenient. Okay, I actually have to get into my persona for YouTube. The YouTubers Arcade Craniacs, if you've been watching their channel recently, you've noticed that Edward has been the sole person in all of the videos as of recent with a left out Nicole. You may be thinking, why exactly is Nicole not in the videos anymore? And there's a very good reason for that. About the late October mark, Nicole broke up with Edward for very valid reasons, quote unquote. If you'd like to go watch that video where they explain that more in depth and talk about it from the viewpoint of the person that was actually dating Edward at the time, then you can go check out that video by any means. It will probably be linked in the description if I'm not lazy. I will give a quick little rundown just in a second before I get, right after I get done with this intro. But essentially, they had broken up, and now new allegations come out against Edward from Nicole, which I don't know what to think about it, because everything has so many things have happened up until this point, which has got me extremely angry because there's so many contradicting things that Nicole has posted. Somewhere I'm on total agreement that this could be a very real allegation, and some I don't agree with. It was really hard to have a clean verdict on this, at least in my opinion, or what I think a clean verdict would be. So I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible and just give out some information here, because I feel like no one has been talking about this, as it's only happened like 14 hours ago. So this is not by any means stating that Edward is a that is not what I'm trying to portray in this video. That I just want to disclaim that off the bat. This is extremely lopsided, and I'm not trying to say that Edward is 100% confirmed. This is just alleged allegations that have recently been posted that I want to take a look at and not have a clean verdict, but just give you your own opinion on it while giving mine. This recently occurred, and I feel like this information should be shown to the public, because these people were YouTubers that I used to like a lot, and not even like unironically, I used to love to watch their videos maybe about a month or two ago, and now I'm extremely disheartened to see these allegations come out and see that they have broken up. Even that was bad at first, but it was acceptable because it was their decision. But with allegations coming out against Edward from Nicole, it's extremely heartbreaking to see two YouTubers that you looked up to start fighting each other. Not fighting each other, you know. I'll be going over the allegations that Nicole put out, and then a response from Edward, and another response from Nicole. And if you'd like me to make a part 2 on this video, if Edward makes another response or Nicole posts more stuff, which is inevitable, please comment it down below, because I do want to inform as many people as possible with these videos. But I've dwindled on with this introduction long enough now. I feel like I should get into the meat and potatoes of this video and try and dissect this thing as a whole to see what we can get out of it and see whether Edward is in the guilty or not, or if it's Nicole. Again, I'm not trying to say for 100%, it's all alleged, and if anyone wants to talk about that and they can give their own opinion on that, because that's what I'm here to do, is to give my opinion and let other people give theirs. This situation is extremely confusing, so stick with me here. Now, Nicole basically announced the breakup publicly the 10th of October, or at least what I could find from scouring through her TikTok page. So around then is when they first posted about the breakup, the 10th of October, making a reference. After multiple of these videos came out, Edward went on stream hysterical. Like, have I never seen someone so beat red before while crying? This just takes the cake. It was extremely disheartening to watch, and as an Arcade Craniacs viewer myself, I didn't really like seeing it. I respected the decision, but I didn't like seeing it because it made me feel sad that they would have to break up, and that they both seem in a state of emotional and mental state where they wouldn't probably come back to doing them together. But I made a tweet about it, and then I sort of left it for like a month or two. And technically it can only have been a month at this point, but you understand what I'm saying. I only returned to the situation as of recent, but essentially we left it for months. There wasn't much talk about it. They really didn't talk to each other for majority of the time, and Edward wished Nicole well with her new lover. He may have been thinking, oh, what happened for these allegations to come out? Why exactly did they come out in the first place? What was the purpose? What was behind it? Whoever just sent me a Discord message, I hope you know I hate you. Essentially, what I think would diffuse personally for Nicole to come out and talk about this even frequenter is the fact that multiple people would comment on Nicole's videos about the breakup, and I feel like that Nicole maybe wanted to give an explanation as to why and just stop it once and for all, which did lead to Nicole posting about Edward quite frequently, which in my eyes is a little odd, especially because of the allegations that Edward makes back responding to Nicole, which again are also alleged. Now, I do have things to say about both these people's allegations because it's clear that not everyone in this situation can be correct. I have multiple things to criticize of each side, so I really just want to get into these videos, starting off with the first allegation from Nicole. I do want to state that Nicole is not good for egging on things. She literally just posted a TikTok out of random. Instead of following her own life and talking about things on her TikTok that are her own life, which honestly it's understandable if you want to talk about the situation, but as you left it at a fold where you don't want to talk about it, neither does Edward. I don't know why in God's name you're talking about it. I mean, you're sort of egging on the situation, and then you get angry when people decide to comment about it, or you get mad when people decide to try and counteract your argument. But what I want to take into account is the comment section on this video, in which Nicole states that then when they were 17 years old, an adult age 23-year-old Edward had groomed them, which you may be thinking is a baseless claim with no real proof to back it up, and there you'd be wrong. 14 hours ago, of about 2 days ago, at least at the time of uploading, which will likely be 2 days from now, Nicole posted on their Instagram stories multiple photos and videos of proof and evidence to back up the claim that Edward met them when they were 17, was interested in having a relationship, and as well as emotionally manipulated them while they were 17. Me looking at your blank comments on TikToks. Firstly, I was groomed by my ex starting at the age of 17 whilst he was 23. Leave me alone. Like, seriously, there's so much to the story, and I don't owe it to anyone to talk about my trauma. I 100% agree with Nicole here, especially if they provide evidence to back up their claim, which they will later on in the story. One thing I do want to critique here is the fact that you saying, leave me alone, when you continue to egg on the situation by making multiple TikToks and Instagram posts / stories about Edward. This could be referencing the comments they keep asking about the breakup, but to state for them to leave you alone when you give them no reason to break up, which honestly is perfectly valid of you, you just can't expect people to not keep asking questions. And this situation didn't even occur, these comments didn't even occur about the blank situation, you know, the manipulating situation with Edward. Those comments didn't exist up until the point where you posted this Instagram story, because no one knew that there were allegations of Edward actually doing this, and no one knew that Edward was actually doing this. State that is a little offhandled, but it's alright. Nicole goes on to show multiple photos of them kissing back in 2016 when they were 17 years of age, and Edward was 23 years of age. Nicole is currently 22 minus 5 equals 17. Now, whether this is legal or illegal all depends on the state which Edward and Nicole resided in. That being, to all of my knowledge, California, which the age of consent being there 18. So Edward's looking really, you know, this is a poor taste joke, but Edward's kind of looking, I can't even say. You know what I was gonna say. Nicole goes on to show more messages between the two back when they were 17 years old, where Edward says, like, oh, let's not get too ahead of ourselves, and when you turn 18, etc., etc. Multiple things that you would see from someone that is trying to manipulate someone, but it's nothing that's full form aside from the fact of the verification of Nicole's age at the time. And again, I'm personally wanting to take Edward's side, because I personally like the channel, and I like Edward as a person, but it seems that there's a lot more to uncover through this situation, and that maybe Edward is not the correct person to support. Nicole goes on to post one further thing before we get into Edward's response that just states, I literally just want to be happy and for everyone not to talk about him every time I post because it's traumatizing. I'm moving on, and that doesn't make me a bad person. My therapist literally says I have PTSD because of everything that's happened to me. Let me be happy and stop victim blaming me. Now, again, I understand if there's so many people coming about it that you want to address the situation, but every time you say that you have left on off the situation, and then you continue to return to it, which is extremely suspicious. And I'm not accusing Nicole of anything. I'm just stating that you can't just keep going back on your word and talking about the situation. You have to hold your ground and not actually talk about the situation, or it makes you look disingenuous, and people are going to accuse you of more things and that think that your traumatizer was in the right, which, if this is true and what Nicole's saying is true, would be extremely inconvenient, because then the truth would never been shown and Edward would be seen as the good guy. But I'd like to go on to Edward's response to this entire situation.
I cannot believe what the I just read on Nicole's story, making the worst fake accusation about me. Now, I have not even talked about her in months so we can move on with our lives, but she always has to bring my name up so she can be relevant, because she's irrelevant now. I legit have proof on the next story to show you that it's all bullshit. You can't believe everything on the internet. That shit, dude. And you know what? You know what's the most thing is that a lot of you guys have no idea what happens behind the scenes when we broke up. Has she called me, saying that she misses me, how much she loves me, how she did the worst decision in her life in breaking up with me? I legit have proof, okay? But to her, I'm the worst person. And that's all she does, is talk about me. Only my name. Only my name. Only my name, dude. But I can never show you that, right? I can never show you that we hung out multiple times after we broke up. You know why? Because she's like, no, don't tell nobody because it's gonna make me look weak. Like, what? You know how much I took care of her? You know all the things I've done for her? Literally got made fun of the channel when I made it in the beginning. She was embarrassed of it. When she saw the money come in, now she's not embarrassed of it. I reply to all the fans, talk to all the fans. Even when fans come up to us and talk to us, try to take a picture with us, we have someone over here. I don't know where it cut off right now, but when fans will come up to us, they'll conversate with us. And they'll conversate with me because I'm legit trying to talk to the fans. While after, when they go away, she goes in my ear, she's like, can we go? I don't want to see nobody else. It's like, what? Bro, that's the people that are blessing you. Those are the people that are following you. Those are the people that are watching your videos, and you can't give a moment of your time to the fans? A kid, bro? You know, she also said some other bullshit that she never had input on the channel. She's legit said she never had input on the channel. She has never, ever made a video idea, never told me what to do, nothing, not even try, not even like give me an idea. And she said I declined it. She has never, ever made a video in her life. Never gave me ideas, never helped me out with the channel because she didn't give a rat's ass about it. But that check, and the following, she'll take it. Everything else, embarrassing. You know, I haven't even said nothing about Nicole. Just to keep it, like, private, you know what I mean? Because it was our relationship, nobody else's. So for her to, like, put my name out there, make up lies and shit like that, to try to put me down, because she sees that her life is crappy now, or I don't know what she's trying to prove, or get some kind of validation. Like, even with her new boyfriend, like, that's awesome. I told her that I actually do see that guy genuine. I like that guy. But what's the point of trying to get validation from the whole internet? Like, I'm in love. Bro, you just met him, like, a day ago. Stop. What are you doing? You know, like, I was on her, like, one of her live streams and shit like that, and she had the audacity to make fun of the YouTube channel, and she called it Arcade Craniacs. So that Arcade Craniacs that paid you a lot of fucking money that we fucking split is Arcade Craniacs. The fans that follow you are the Arcade Craniacs, what you say, right? But you'll take the following, you'll take the money, right? But they're Arcade Craniacs, right? You do know where the your following came from, right? It's fucking fake.
Edward, in his response, shows multiple receipts, evidence, and anything along that line. Makes arguments and points against Nicole's allegations, stating that they even hung out after they broke up, and multiple other things like that, and how she had commented that they met when they were 18, when that's not really true. And one of the stories that Nicole posted after this, stating that they were forced to write that comment. So if that was too fast for you, the link to the video is in the description if you want to go over everything. It was 5 minutes long, and I felt like putting it in the video would be extremely unnecessary, and the video would last on for way too long. I just wanted to be a more condensed video with more information. But the way that Edward is speaking in this video is extremely manipulative. Well, extremely is an over-exaggeration, but in multiple cases he's stating, do you know how much I've done for her? Which is proven because she was being paid by Edward's YouTube salary, which Nicole didn't really rebuttal against that, so that could be a very well possibility. Nicole did bicker back with his argument of like, oh, I didn't get paid from the videos and I wasn't in them and you never let me do anything in them, which could be very well true, but neither of the sides are providing evidence, and I'm leaning on at least this point to Edward's side because it makes some form of sense, and I'm only talking about the point where he's saying that Nicole is getting their salary from the YouTube videos that Edward produces. Nicole is featured in these videos, but even in some videos Nicole isn't featured, which you could say that is leaving out Nicole, but then again, it could also just mean Nicole didn't want to do it and Edward wants to keep up the grind. Two very well possibilities that we really don't have the answer to in this situation. Edward also goes on to state the fact that Nicole would call him and tell him how much she missed him, which seems a little unbelievable, and it depends. This is a very big piece of everything, because this is something Nicole didn't respond to in their stories after this, at least not currently, which is that they missed Edward. Edward actually does have some form of proof, the fact that she was in he was in her apartment when she had called him, but despite that factor, that doesn't really debunk in the entire argument of Edward not being emotionally manipulative, but it does add something where it's an actual debate. That's why I'm being so careful with this video, because there is a debate to be had about whether this is a thing or not. Because I went on Twitter and I searched up Arcade Craniacs, and there were so many people immediately jumping to Nicole's side, and there were some people immediately jumping to Edward's side, and I feel like anyone who was doing that is a complete and utter idiot. There's no solid proof or accusations, which there's proof, but there's no definitive proof unless you have 100% certainty. Even if it's 99% certainty, I don't care. You don't make those blatant allegations against someone saying that they are 100% when you really don't have that 100%. It annoys me when people do that, because it could very well be untrue, and the situation can be so circumstantial. I get really angry when people jump the gun and immediately start going to the victim's side or going to the accused side. Guys, stay on the fence until everything unravels, because you never know what could happen next. Edward goes on to state that when they first made the channel, she was embarrassed of it, but once the money started to come in, she was totally okay with the channel and even wanted to be be featured in the videos. Just give off behavior of money hungry and greedy, but then again, there is no solid evidence for this aside from the fact that it's Edward's testimony. The same can be said with some of Nicole's points and arguments and accusations and alleged, allegations, because this is literally all alleged. You can't say for sure one side or not. And again, I'm not trying to make it sound like I don't believe Nicole, or I'm not trying to make it sound like I don't believe Edward. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible in this situation, criticizing both sides, acknowledging their fault, to try and give the audience an opinion and distribute this information across the internet so that people can create a verdict with deeper research. Now, throughout this, Edward has responded to the points that Nicole has stated. Edward is just sort of attacking Nicole's character at this point, which is an ad hominem attack. Just like in the last video, at this point, he's just talking about things to invalidate Nicole's points and arguments, which honestly in this situation could be warranted, but I feel like it's a little unnecessary to bring up random things like how she's disingenuous to fans when it has zero things to do with the situation aside from the fact that you're making Nicole seem bad. Again, I'm not trying to take sides here, but I feel like that needed to be said. I'm gonna go over one more thing in this video, which is Nicole's response to this response.
So he messaged me from a separate account that I forgot existed, so it wasn't blocked. And like, he's so fucking evil. So fucking evil. Notice how all of a sudden now I'm not crazy. Now all of a sudden I'm not an insane gold digger. You know why? Because he knows that I'm telling the truth and that he's a fucking predator and actually much worse things.
Alright, a couple things I want to point out. There is no screenshots to show that this happened, and currently there could be when I'm recording this video, but as of the time that I downloaded this, which was 3 hours prior to this being 3 hours after this was posted, there's zero evidence for that. And also, Nicole keeps saying worse and worse things. At first it was just that he was a bad person, now a manipulator, now an evil person, and then it cuts off at the end, but she's trying to say that he's much worse things than just a manipulator, which again, I'm not trying to doubt your story, but like, you keep going on about it. Can you give us one set and solid detail? Everything here needs to be set and solid more, because it's very vague and flimsy, so no one can really 100% believe it except people that just want to 100% believe it. But with that, I'm done with this video. If you'd like me to make a part 2 on this video, then comment it and go right ahead, because I feel like this is something that needs to be talked about a bit more by bigger people and bigger YouTubers, so this could be spread across the platform, because Arcade Craniacs is a big channel and I feel like everyone should know about this. But that's about it. If you like, then like, subscribe. Yeah, that'd be funny. And yeah, bye.